Every once in a while, when I have introduced you to one of our guests on this feature that we do on KTAR.com, this Pat's Personal Portraits, you may have started by saying, oh, I wonder if this is going to be an interesting person. I guess now that you know it's Hugh Downs, you don't have to ask that, do you? Hugh Downs, one of the most fascinating careers in broadcasting that I know, but don't you think so too?
Well, it's been, television has been very good to me, and radio, and I've enjoyed it, so I guess maybe I'm not unique, but I may be relatively rare in the enjoyment of success that I have had up to now.
But some of the things that people may not know, for example, Kugla, Fran, and Ollie, you were the announcer on one of the great kid shows ever. The Caesar Hour, working with Sid Caesar, and occasionally being dragged on camera in the middle of a comedy sketch. And of course, Today and Tonight and Concentration and 2020 and all of those things in between. What was the most fun that you had? What was the one you looked forward to every day more than any other to go to, because it was going to be such a good time?
Any of the field work that I did on 2020 was probably what I looked forward to.
Like what?
Well, like moving the South Pole to a corrected position. You know, that feature had absolutely no socially redeeming element to it, whatever. But it meant a lot to me because I got to do something that nobody had ever done before. A new polar satellite allowed them to measure where the Earth's axis came out through the ice within 20 inches. Now, for a globe 8,000 miles in diameter, which is what the Earth is, that's precision work. And the North Pole was not in the right position. It was, and incidentally, the South Pole. The South Pole was never in that ring of barber poles you saw with the treaty nation flags and everything. It was about a mile away, and it was not in the right position now. And I have the paperwork at home where they had a surveyor's pin in the snow where I was to plant the new South Pole, and the South Pole is designated by a 15-foot tall bamboo staff topped by a tattered green flag. And so I moved it to the right position. It was many meters, and I put it down in the right place, and that allowed me to do something that had never been done before, because all of the meridians converge, you know, at the bottom. What I did was went up the Greenwich meridian in the direction of Greenwich, England, which is 0 meridian, 7.5 feet. That radius allowed me to walk around the world in 24 steps, each step in a different time zone. And I've got that on tape someplace.
That's an answer to the question.
That meant a lot to me.
What's fun on television? And Hugh Downs says, moving the South Pole.
That's true.
Right?
It was fun.
Who's the most intelligent human being in your lifetime that you have had come in contact with, or that you've read and perhaps never met?
Maybe the late Christopher Hitchens would be one of the most intelligent. It depends on different types of intelligence, like Lawrence Krauss and Paul Davies as top physicists are extremely intelligent guys, but that's their field. I don't know, in philosophy, I would imagine that I would have to say, I can't name it, maybe, there are too many philosophers. Musicians, I would say that the most intelligent, musically speaking, would be Leonard Bernstein, who was a terrific teacher, conductor, and composer. He had all those things going, and I didn't fully appreciate him until his life was over. I came to realize how great he was at these things by listening to various renditions of stuff that he did.
And with 1 minute left in this brief visit, you didn't mention Einstein. Why?
Because I never got to meet him. Do you know that tragedy?
Please tell me.
I was slated to do it with NBC's Wisdom series. I had done Frank Lloyd Wright, and they had older statesman-like types, and we scheduled Einstein, who was right across the river at the Princeton Institute for Advanced Studies, and it was postponed once by NBC, and then by Einstein's people. And the second reason that they postponed it was his illness, which he did not recover from. And I never got to meet him. And that's the tragedy of my intellectual life, is not having a chance to meet Einstein. but I had read a lot of his stuff from the time I was 15.
I have the sincere belief that if Einstein was asked the same question, he would feel regret in not having met you.
That'll be the day.
Hugh Downs.
Thank you.
On KTAR.com, Pat's personal portrait.